Alright, welcome back to Keith Kevin's Repair and Restoration. Today we've got kind of a treat for you for your Ford fans. We've got a 2003 F-150 here. Cream puff truck, been well taken care of, and the owner wants to keep it that way. And today we're going to be doing a water pump and thermostat. Not that there's anything necessarily wrong, but you know, 18 years, the owner's proactive, 115,000 miles, and he wants to keep this thing in pristine shape. So, this is one of the few videos I'll probably ever do that we don't actually have a physical problem with the cooling system. The one thing I did notice, it was a little late to warm up. Not too bad, but when you got the original thermostat, you know, they go two ways on you. Either they stick and overheat, or they get stuck open and they underheat. And that's about the only issue I have found with this truck. Other than that, it has not been touched by anybody. Very rare to actually get a truck that's clean like this. Normally we've got a lot of stuff straightened out, but today it's just a simple R&R job. We're going to be replacing not only the water pump thermostat, we're going to be replacing the upper hose, lower hose. We're going to do a coolant system flush. You know, most people would cut the heater hose and blow it out that way. We're going to do it differently. We're going to use gravity. We're also going to be putting back in, which is really important with these Fords, gold color coolant. Do not put green in here. Do not put the Walmart stuff in here. You must use the Ford coolant. Yes, this stuff is expensive, but what's more expensive? Engine job or expensive coolant?
Engine job.
Yes, the engine job is more expensive. So we are putting in factory stuff. You know, this guy loves his truck. I don't blame him. 115,000 miles, and it's been well cared for.
Pretty good shape.
It's pretty good shape. I actually drove it last night, and it's an interesting drive. 260 horsepower. She gets out of the hole. I mean, I didn't floor it or anything, but job as a technician is to, you know, get on it and make sure that does what it's supposed to. And yeah, this thing boogies on down the road. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with the 5.4 Triton. I'm not a Ford guy. Most of you guys know I'm a Chevy guy, and that's no problem there. But this customer loves our work, and he's been begging me for a while to do this job. So unfortunately, we kind of tried to tell him, well, you know, we don't do Ford stuff too much. And he's like, I don't care. You guys do good work. I'm doing my truck.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to argue with that.
So you're doing my truck. You don't have no choice.
Pretty much, because the people that we work for know that it doesn't matter what you own. We care about the people we work for. And whether it's Ford, Dodge, Chevy, Nissan, Kia, you know, the thing is, we take our time and we do it right. And that's what you're going to see today. So stay tuned. We've got a lot to do today. Okay, before we get started, we want to do a basic visual inspection. Now, there is two things we did find that we are going to have to correct. One, this pulley down here is not very happy. And two, whoever put the battery in, yeah.
That's loose.
Yeah, that shouldn't be loose. Then the battery hold down is there, so we're going to investigate that one. We're going to do that last. But other than that, that's the only two concerns I found. Now, what we might find once we pull the water pump pulley off, we might have a little bit of seepage. But other than that, there isn't much here. But we're going to get started in basic teardown. We got to get this air intake system off so we can get to the thermostat. We're going to take the belt off, we're going to drain the coolant, and pretty much go from there. Alright, first things first, we're going to open the world up, make this a better place. Now, the 5.4 Triton is not actually a bad engine to work on. It reminds me a lot of the Dodge 4.7 as far as some of the ideas that Dodge does. This is a single overhead cam engine, probably why it produces so much power in such a small displacement. Alright, so get this cover off so you can get to the thermostat. You need to take off two 10mm bolts on this side, driver's side. Now there's going to be a lot of little bolts here, so you want to make sure that you adhere to teardown rules and kind of keep all your stuff together. Yeah, it's nice working on a truck that's never been touched.
That's rare.
It is rare. Alright, now let's see how we get this intake plenum off.
The hell is that?
Intake plenum?
That thing right there in the middle, the thing you just pulled off. What's all that crap?
Well, that's emissions, my friend.
Wow, that's weird.
No, this is one of the last cable throttles that you actually have here.
Oh.
Yeah, this isn't drive-by-wire, so this is old school. So you got a cable, you got cruise control. It is electronically controlled transmission, so you do not have a throttle valve cable on this setup.
So did they stop that production in like 2004, I'm guessing?
After 03, it went to drive-by-wire, but...
It's dusty.
Trying to do a less is more approach here. I really don't want to be taking a whole bunch of this plastic off, because as things age, well, they get brittle. And I don't think they intended for this to... No.
So what do you have to do?
Be very careful.
Unplug it?
Well, we're going to pull this tube off, because we need to get this assembly out of the way so we can get the thermostat. So if we're real careful, take our time, we will get it apart. Okay. Let's see if there's some voodoo magic here with this cable. We're going to disconnect the mass air flow sensor. I suppose, though, let's see, I don't see clampies, so...
Okay, so if you don't see clampies, then what now? Oh. Oh, what, is that a chain?
Yeah, this is called a ball. You see this a lot on diesels. Make sure we got nothing underneath. Nope. I really like to disconnect this without breaking it. There's one odd shape. Yeah, it's just like a Dodge. There's an old story about Dodges. And for the camera, I have to keep it clean. We call it a frickin' old rebuilt Dodge. What's funny is a lot of the Ford engineers that got fired or laid off or, you know, wanted to seek other opportunities, guess where they went? To Dodge. So it's not uncommon if you work on Dodge to come and look at a Ford and be like, okay, it's not too bad. Well, I've worked on Dodge. I like Dodge. No problem there. So when I come here and I see some of this stuff, I'm like, that's like a Dodge style connector right there. Oh, but let's see here. We got one more plastic connector to take off. Alright, so we are free. Just pull the clamp here. We're going to keep this one complete assembly. When you're doing major teardowns, you want to think about when you go ahead and put things back, you want to keep it to where obviously it's fast, but you don't want to tear apart any more than you absolutely have to. And that's my tip of the day. Don't tear more down than you absolutely have to. Okay, next we're going to pull the plenum clamp, upper intake, whatever you want to call it.
How do you say it? Plymouth?
Plenum.
Plenum?
Upper plenum.
Plenum.
Plenum intake tubes, air cleaner assemblies. They got all sorts of goofy names. Depends on which book you read and who wrote it.
Which is the easiest?
Air cleaner assembly, in my opinion.
Oh, that's on an umbilical cord, I see.
We have an air intake sensor. No problem. Let's kick that off to the side. I'm not disconnecting that.
So
see, we got it out of our way, so that's the big part. Thermostat's here. And it looks like we've got two brackets. That's a pretty interesting setup.
What?
Well, you got the power steering reservoir here, and you got this bracket that sits on top of the thermostat housing. So to get to the thermostat, this has to get broken apart, but I bet once I get that bolt off, this will just slide off. So you gotta be real careful because we got a plastic reservoir here. One thing with plastic, especially after it gets pretty brittle or old or aged, whatever you want to call it, you got to be real careful and think about reassembly. You don't want to do any damage. I mean, obviously you're not a technician if you just go through, rip and pull, and oh, I got to do about $300 worth of parts because, well, that's quick and in a hurry. Uh-oh, phone call. Okay, right here is your radiator drain petcock. Ford was nice enough to leave you a nipple edge. So what you can do if you don't want to make a big mess, like we're not going to, just take a simple hose, There's a wheel liner here in the way. Get out of your way. Alright. You want to make sure you got a pretty good catch pan underneath. Don't do this on the earth and just dump it and let the earth deal with it. Collect your fluids. I'm not a tree hugger or anything, but I definitely don't want to leave a dirty planet to my kids.
Tree hugger?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's the correct term now?
I don't know. I've said it before and haven't get demonetized. Alright, so you want to take a 19 mil.
Ooh, I see it.
Yep. You want to get it, you want to loosen it just enough so it's not actually dripping out the peacock. Okay, we'll let that drip.
Watch out for me.
To make this process go a lot faster, come up here, camera. We're going to open up the radiator cap.
Well, what does that do?
Well, this keeps the system sealed. So once we take the cap off, we have atmospheric air trying to push in. It'll cause the fluid to come out faster out the drain. This is a process, takes about 15 minutes. So after this is done, we will get back with you. I'm not one of those guys that just pops the water pump and let the fluid go everywhere. You're going to have a little bit of fluid loss, but you don't want the entire cooling system coming out through the water pump. Just a couple extra steps and you can have a, I don't want to say necessarily clean time, but not a super messy time and, you know, make it look like you don't know what you're doing.
Not barbaric.
Yeah, I don't care if you've been doing this for 20 minutes or 20 years, you know. You can do it the right way, you can do it the wrong way, but the way I see it, collect your fluids, do the right thing.
Save the earth.
Save the earth! I know how bad fluids are, and when you got pets that like the taste of coolant, and you got young kids that like to play in the dirt, you know, as I get older I think about those things. Alright, so we'll be back with you in about 15 minutes. I was trying to avoid us getting the frame dirty with spin antifreeze, but there's just no choice. I had to bring out the peacock just a little bit more. So we're draining good now. Most of it will come out the hose, but there will be a little bit that has to come off the frame. I'd rather have it here than all over the bottom pulley, front seal. So don't deal with a lot of gold coolant. But one thing I know about Fords is, you know, because I don't work on them a lot, doesn't mean I don't keep myself up with knowledge on them. You don't want to put green in here. You don't want to use the Walmart stuff. You can get away with that sometimes, but this ain't one of those cases. It almost looks like the Ford's taking a pee. You got a little foam in your pee. Dr. Ken Berry says you gotta go get that checked. I haven't checked what the capacity of this cooling system is, but most of them about 15 quarts, a little over 2.5 gallons. And we'll see, because this is a cooling service, we're going to get as much out as we can. Probably won't hit the block drains, because generally when you do that you'll get a leak afterwards, but if we do this right, we should be able to recover about 90% of it. Yeah, gold coolant by Ford is kind of the equivalent to deck school to GM. Well, even Dodge uses a version of deck school. Now in those cases I would definitely switch it to green. I got a video coming up to show the horrors of what deck school does to engines. My 95 Silverado head gaskets are starting to seep. And even though I've changed that coolant 3 or 4 times, once deck school's in an engine, unless you flip that thing upside down, you're never getting it all out. Eventually it'll clog up the heater core, it'll cause the head gaskets to seep, clog radiators, destroy gaskets. That should be an interesting video. That's coming soon, so. But today, we're on the hunt for the Ford. You want to use a pretty good catch pan, because, like I said, it's about 2 gallons we're probably going to pull out of here. It's not like the old days when you look down a radiator to see if she's empty. You got to pretty much wait till you get out to the final drip, because the water pump is pretty much half the distance to the radiator, so raindrops keep falling on my head. Yeah, I'm sure the service life of antifreeze by Ford should be 5 years or 50,000, or some are even 150,000 for 5 years, but this is probably the original coolant that came out the factory. The owner didn't tell us he had any cooling service done, which is why he wanted to get it done now. We pull the water pump off, we should be able to tell how long this coolant's been in there, because usually antifreeze by itself will stain old parts, so that should be interesting. We're just about there though. Let's see if it drained the reserve tank. Yeah, the reserve tank's a little gross. You have to take that apart. But we're replacing that bottom hose, so we'll take this off and we'll clean it. I don't leave these tanks dirty. That's just lazy workmanship. It's got a little bit of goop down there. Yeah, she's been in there a little long. You can see that discoloration in there. This is the reason why you want to service these cooling systems. So we're actually going to have to take this tank out, get it clean. There's really no way to clean it. I mean, I suppose some guys got a way of doing it in the vehicle, but me, myself, I'd rather just take it out. Doesn't look too bad a job to do. Oh man, I don't want to have to take this plastic. Oh, come on, Ford. Don't make it hard. Kind of hoping there'd be some easy bolt access. I don't like taking those front covers off, they crack. There's a bolt in the inside here. That's one. Yeah, it looks like it might be taking that off. We've got to get this tank clean. We don't want that contamination. Alright, just about ready to start working on the water pump.